morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to PSA TV. This is the Wake Up Call segment. In studio here with us this morning, he's the director of the Socorro Wildlife Conservation Center, Mr. Ricardo. Meade, how are you?
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
And we also have another guest, Oreo.
I'll speak for him since he can't speak for himself. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This is Oreo, the white hawk, a native to Trinidad, not Tobago.
How are you, Ricardo?
I'm doing fantastic.
It's been a while I haven't seen you.
Yes, you've been all over the place, and all parts have only now across, so that's great to meet you again.
And I mean, thanks so much for coming here this morning with us at the PSA TV. Ricardo, you could tell us a bit about your wildlife growing up. Just wanted to...
Growing up over the Wildlife Center.
Let me hear about your side first.
Well,
what prompted you into animals?
I am truly a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. My mom from Tobago, my dad from Trinidad. Born in Trinidad, growing up in Tobago with my grandparents, my aunts, my cousins, and so on. And the culture way back then would have been one where you took what you needed from the land, so people hunted. No one ever sold meat in Tobago at that point in time. And so that's the culture we grew up in. And I wanted to be like my cousins and friends and making traps and catching stuff. So I remember making a trap, a sling trap, and it was intended to catch the white-tailed mountain dove, the one that when it flies off you hear that sort of whistling sound. And I was successful in capturing a dove. However, instead of the foot going into the trap, the neck went into the trap. And when the sling pulled, it instantly broke the dove's neck. I was, okay, well, it died, but proud that my trap worked. So I took my dove, my trophy, home to my grandmother, who was very upset. I did not expect the reception that I got. She was very angry and asked me, why did you kill it? I'm like, you mean why I kill it? Is the trap kill it? You set the trap, you created that, you killed the bird. Okay, am I all right? So the bird is dead. Okay, what did the bird do you? Are you going to eat it? Well, no, I'm not eating this. So you killed it just for fun, just for so? That is not appropriate, that is not right. So somebody just come and kill you just because you are there, because you exist? She says, yeah, what? And she gave me a proper cocktail and then tell me, carry the bird back in the bush and don't come back home until the bird fly off. So you understand my dilemma.
Yeah.
Right away you get to understand and realize it's easy to take life like that. Okay, but give it back, something we can't do. So my silly action took away the life from this bird, and she's like, this bird could be sitting on eggs. It could have babies it was waiting to feed. Now those babies are going to die. So you didn't kill one, you probably killed 3 birds. Okay, and then it would have probably had a mate who would probably be missing it and stuff like that. And when I sat there in the bush thinking about all this stuff and crying, and well, of course, didn't go back home. I think my aunt said, had to come and get me. And I went home and I took my cocktail like a little boy, gassy like a man. And from then, it changed my perspective on life. I mean, I had always had an appreciation for the beauty. When people were shooting and killing, I was like, wow, look at this, look at the colors on this, and look at this, and look at the feet. And so I took it to another level with the urging of my grandmother, because she was like, life is sacred, don't just take it for granted. And I think she had that perspective when it became even deeper after she lost one of her sons, was actually one of the murder victims in Tobago back in the 70s. And it's only when it touches you home, you have a greater respect for life. Not just your life, other people's lives, and even the lives of animals. Because if you like yourself, respect yourself, and want your family to do well, they cannot do well without the environment. And the stewards of the environment are the animals. So it's all connected. We have to start understanding the connection of everything. Everything lives on one planet, and everything has a role. So let's say there's a hierarchy and a pyramid, and we sit on top of that. Without the base, a pyramid can't stand.
True.
Okay, the great pyramids are standing because of the solid base that the people created many, many centuries ago. And our solid base here on this planet is the environment that's being preserved and maintained by the different sort of animals and wildlife. And we sit on top of that, but merely as consumers. We don't add anything of value to planet Earth. We just take. And what's going on right now is that we're taking at a rapid pace. At a pace because now everybody wants a Western lifestyle. So whereas we would have taken for ourselves in a subsistence level, now we want to sell because we want to get more money to buy this and to buy that and the other. And the planet cannot sustain, and we're beginning to see that. Just this morning, the report said that they have confirmed that July, just went by, was the hottest ever month in the planet's history. And that's going to keep escalating. And then what's going to happen? We're going to be in jeopardy here in Trinidad as a small island developing state. Island because we're surrounded by water. So as sea level rises, imagine how many people's homes and businesses are going to be threatened as the waves and the water comes in. So it's a lot to look at, and it comes all the way back down to animals and the environment.
That's true. You can tell us a bit about the Wildlife Center.
Well, the center in October, we'll be celebrating 14 years of service to Trinidad and Tobago.
Very nice. That's good,
I
Ricardo.
like to put it that way because people think it's just the center is there. Yes, the center is there to serve you. In that 14 years, well, to this day right now, we have encountered, directly impacted over 450,000 people. I probably talked to 440,000 people myself during that period of time. So many events that we go to. Even this weekend, this Sunday, there's a sort of healing, a community healing event down in Orange Valley where those fishermen were tragically killed. And that community is in an uproar. Those are young men and who grew up there and walked the streets and fished and moved around with everybody, moved around and sold their fish, and now they're gone. I believe 2 are still missing. How do you recover from something like that?
True.
So it requires the community to come together. So they're having this event on Sunday down there at one of the recreation grounds, and we're going to be there with our animals because
That's nice.
we understand the role that they play in people's lives. For some people, I've had one lady who come at a time there, and she stood in front of the hawk, this very hawk, Oreo, crying. And she says, I feel his pain. I understand what he's going through. Okay, and I didn't, because I explained to her that he's blind in one eye and with a broken wing. And only when she turned to walk away, I realized that she had a severe limp. And she was walking without crutches. And I asked him, I said, you know that lady? He says, yes, she was shot some years ago. And I said, what happened? She said, nothing. They never found the people, nothing ever happened. There was never any redress. She never got any justice.
That's
But
okay.
she had to find a way to pick herself up, get herself together and continue. So it's the same thing that this bird has done. It was shot and we were able to help it survive. We've had it for just about 9 years now.
So this wing is
The right wing, yeah, it was shot with a shotgun. So the right wing is broken in 4 places.
Okay.
It's irreparable. It could not have been repaired because the time that we got it, way after it was shot. And he's also blind in his right eye. So that's part of the reason why he sort of turns this way, because he wants to see with the good eye.
Okay.
So
He's
it developed a
beautiful.
cataract. Right? And he's a very calm, this is part of the reason why he's able to become one of our ambassadors. He's just a calm bird that just, he's okay with people. Once in a while something will spook him a bit, but once he calms down and accepts his environment, almost nothing bothers him.
How long have you had Oreo?
This is coming up on 9 years now that we've had Oreo. Yep. So he's doing pretty good with us, and it's probably one of the most popular birds in the country right now.
Oh, that's
Doesn't
nice.
say much, like he doesn't say anything, but just his presence as a beautiful bird. I have friends all over the world when they see the pictures on the internet, they're like, wow, that's an amazing bird. It's one of the most beautiful hawks I've ever seen. Do you breed them? Can we get one? We don't appreciate what we have.
Right.
Sometimes it has to take people from outside to say, hey, you have something real nice there. And then we say, oh yeah, it really is nice. But from the first time I saw this bird, and he didn't look like this when we got him because he was broken feathers and really brown from rust, being in a cage and stuff like that. He took 2 years of rehab to look like this again, and now he is really a magnificent specimen, and he's quite good. Allows us people to touch him. So sometimes when you go to a school, you have 1,500 kids lined up to just get close, get a picture, or just say,
This is the
touch the hawk.
closest I've ever been to.
And he's pretty good. It allows that touch. He's accustomed to that. There, the 2 fingers on the head. And he's okay with that. Quite okay. So
Ricardo,
we do
have
that.
you encountered any difficulties with any of your animals? What was the worst experience for you?
My worst experience is dealing with a species called humans. They are the biggest impediment to progress, which what we try to do with advancing our work and our education. it's really tough. Sometimes we get invited into communities and situations, and the knowledgeable ones, I say in quotation marks, would come out and they know everything. So we are trying to impart proper knowledge, science-based and factual, to people, and they would come, no, they don't know what they're talking about. I see a mackerel. It went from one side of the road to the next. It wrapped around a coconut tree, passed over a man's car, and then going through a lady's house. And everybody was driving down the road, and it went over it like a speed bump. And I stood there like, okay. And this is what you're telling children, you know. And when the owl's flying, it'll come for your grandmother's soul, and she will die in the night. And oh gosh, the myths and the urban legends and the Nancy stories that we have to deal with. I had one man one time come and show me, he rolled up his sleeve. Well-dressed gentleman, long sleeve, roll up his sleeve, say, you see that mark? I say, yep. It's a birthmark. He say, yep. When I was in my mother's belly, she went to hang out clothes on the line, and she didn't see a horsewhip snake. And it hit her lash.
That's not true.
Right there. Right there. And when I born, the mark come out on me right there. I just looked at the man and I said, okay. Because what do you say to something like that? Okay, you just have to sometimes let it go and just try to press on where you can to advance your cause.
Right.
And our cause and our new saying is simply sustaining biodiversity, preserving the future.
Would I be able to touch Oreo?
Well, we'll have to ask him.
I think we're going to toss a short break and come back, and I'm going to stand on that side with him. So you can see that I'm standing here with Mr. Ricardo Meade and Oreo. So I think I should...
Yeah, go ahead. Get out of the way. He's been waiting.
He's been waiting. Oreo's been waiting for me to pet him. Oh, that's so nice. He's not going to fly, right?
No.
He's not going to fly.
Oh, he can't fly.
Oh, he cannot fly.
He cannot fly. This wing is broken. Right, so that's why the wing sort of just wobbles like that. It's broken in 4 places.
What does he eat though?
He eats 6 mice a day, or the equivalent in meat.
Really?
Yes.
In terms of training him though, Ricardo, what is your procedure in training your animals? How do you go about training them?
Training the animals, which mainly birds for us, is a very slow process of repetition. You cannot use negative stimulation as you would in training a dog, because their brains are simple. Anytime there's a negative stimulus, they would basically shut down and just stay away from the whole activity. What we use would be just total positive reinforcement. So when the animal does what's considered the right action, you just reinforce that by positive reinforcement. And in his case, it's usually food. So you have to have, in our pockets, we usually have lots and lots of pieces of rats cut up, you know, and so if you want him to go on the perch, he goes on the perch, piece of rat. He does this, piece of rat. So it's like all day, piece of rat. When the training session, you would take time out. So sometimes we train him in the morning and sometimes in the evening. And this takes years. So like I said, we've had him for 9 years. It's a lot of training for him to get accustomed to sound. So we would have him sometimes in an elevated noise environment, and I'm right there. So he's seen me, he's been rewarded for being calm, and he understands, wait a minute, I can just chill here, that noise is there, nothing is coming at me, and I'm getting my food and my little rat treats, so it's quite okay. And the reason we have to do that is when we go out in the public, and we're amongst kids, for example, even adults, you know, we can tend to escalate our decibel level sometimes, and it can come as a bit of a shock, a jar for them. So to ensure that they stay calm, that we would get them exposed to background noises and stuff like that there. You do a family day and you can't help it when the guy comes over on the speaker and shouts out, "There's the driver, so and so move." So it comes as a jar. It even jars us, but we're accustomed to it. So we make it in such a way that they are now accustomed to that situation where they stay very calm. He's a little special case because he is blind in his right eye, so he perceives everything from his left eye. And sometimes what he gets is a lot of shadows and so on. So he will respond to these sort of shadows and background. So being on set for him can be a little tricky sometimes because you have the lights coming one way and then there's movements in the background. So he's trying to perceive and ensure that he can pick it up clearly and there's no threat to him. So, but it's a lot. It's just really, it comes down to that positive reinforcement of the right action.
And with the snakes, Ricardo, you know my biggest fear is snakes.
Snakes? Nothing to worry about at all with snakes. Why are you worried? Why are we worried about snakes?
But you remember that time, you know, at the center when I held a snake, and I was glad it didn't. I was really glad it didn't came here today with any of your snakes, though. And I looked at, there was a video circulating a couple of weeks ago that came out of the Emperor Valley Zoo, you know, where the gentleman was trying to feed a snake. Is it that because he was too much in the cage, that is why the snake had attacked him?
Well, I wouldn't say that the snake attacked him. Let's get it. Firstly, the snake was being fed, so that's a feeding response.
Right.
When the animal goes into its feeding mode, heightened senses, the rabbit was taught, so there's a rabbit around, and they used heat sensing. So he was there at the opening, would have been a much greater heat source. And smell rabbit, heat source, that's food. So the snake just struck towards what he thought was food, and that's it. It wasn't that it was trying to kill the person, harm the person, or anything like that. Many times when you feed our snakes, you see them literally just throwing around trying to grab and so on, and they're not always successful. This time it caught the guy by the shirt. I would say by the shirt because I'm sure, and they said it, that the injuries were minor.
Right.
So you could have taken that same snake from that situation and 5 minutes later put it into the hands of a child because it's no longer feeding.
Really?
Okay, that's feeding.
Yeah.
When it's in the hands of people and out in the public, that's work. It's a wildlife ambassador. They understand that they will be touched and cuddled and held and moved and so on. It's a totally different thing. They're not looking to eat things all the time.
Do you
It's a
think they
totally
should
different-
have like a different method of feeding these snakes?
No,
in
not
terms like
necessarily.
a smaller space to pass the food through?
Not necessarily. All that happens is that this time someone was there to capture a natural behavior, and now it's been literally blown out of proportion. I know Walter very well. He's a long-standing professional in handling that, and while everybody now has become a professional, saying he should have done this and he should have done that, and if he tossed the food, this and that, the other, this happens. And for the professionals who look on the internet and they look at programs where they feed snakes, they will see the feeding behavior and understand that this can happen. And because he's a professional, he dealt with it properly, no problem.
Right.
Okay, so we oftentimes make a big to-do about nothing.
That's good. Have you ever thought about, you know, bringing in persons into the center and training them in how to treat with animals and stuff like that?
Yes, and we've extended an invitation. I have to write a formal letter to actually the police service.
Okay.
Because a lot of times calls go in for rescue situations, and the first people that are available, or the only people that are available, are the TTPS. And I believe that it will be good to have their officers, one, just have an awareness of our wildlife, have an understanding of how to deal with it. It would increase their capacity, and I'm sure it will give some of them a little bit of a thrill to be able to expand their horizons beyond what they normally do. Because we've had a couple cases where the police have brought snakes into us. And there's one instance where they were very apprehensive and they wanted to kill the snake. And someone begged for it and actually assisted them in restraining the animal and then bringing it to the center. So a lot of times when people call, they call the police or something, then it'll be good if the police in your area has some knowledge to direct the people properly or to be able to handle the situation so it doesn't escalate and result in the injury of the person, the animal, or the police officer. So we are very willing to do that sort of training outreach, as it were. It wouldn't make them professionals, but they will be a whole lot more comfortable in dealing with situations and in encounter wildlife. And that makes it for a better Trinidad and Tobago all around.
Ricardo, I have some cats for you by my mom. Would it be okay if I give it to you?
We
it's
do-
like 7 cats.
We deal with wildlife, ladies and gentlemen out there. Once again, we deal with wildlife.
These
Okay,
cats are terrorizing us.
those are domesticated animals. So here's what we do not deal with. Oreo, relax. Right. Here's what we do not deal with. We do not deal, right?
he
We
wants
do
to.
not deal with cats, dogs. Rabbits are considered food. So if you send your rabbit to us, know the outcome of that action.
Right.
Guinea pigs, chickens, your wild children and your crazy husband, that's all for you to deal with. Okay, there are other institutions that deal with that. We deal with local, domestic, local wildlife, not domesticated animals. All right, so just wildlife. Injured or orphaned wildlife, feel free to give us a call. We will, technology has helped us a lot right now. We are now able to do a lot of our work with the technology. So if someone called me, there's a bird in my backyard. Okay, what kind is it? I don't know. Okay, here's what. Do you have access to WhatsApp? Yes, great. The same number you just called, take some pictures, take a short video, send it in to me. I look at the video, I make an assessment. I said, okay, this is a fledgling bird. Nothing is wrong with it. What you need to do is make sure there are no dogs or cats around, and the parents are going to come back and take it. They said, no, the parents didn't come back all day, and they communicate with me. I said, here's what. Take it inside for tonight, put it in a shoebox. Get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, place the shoebox on your porch or by the window, open it up. They called me 6 o'clock. The mother came, and they flew off together. Okay? Without the technology, they would have brought the bird down to me, and it would have been time and out of its area and stuff like that. What the bird did, even while the mother did not come to meet the bird the day before, they continued communicating. And she said, oh yes, they were whistling back and forth, and I heard them and so on. But the next morning, she was actually brave enough, and the bird was strong enough, and they flew off together. So that's how we solve a lot of our cases now, using the technology and without having to get involved. Or when we do have to go, it's good to know the situation that you're going into. Just last night, we went and removed a caiman from under somebody's driveway, and it helped us that we had the video and we knew what we were going to deal with. So we went there and we were prepared, and we were successful in capturing it, and literally about 10 minutes later, it was released into a nearby river, and all's well that ends well.
Ricardo, I have cockatiels, and I lost one, my best one, Alex, last year. How much do you know about cockatiels in terms of when they're laying eggs? She was just hemorrhaging like crazy, and we took her to the vet. And then right after that, they told me she's dead.
Yeah.
They said the egg had stuck inside of her.
Yes. Birds do get, in fact, any animal that lays eggs do get something called egg bound. Sometimes you have a situation where two eggs sort of merge, creating a pretty large object that is too massive to pass through the cloaca. So the bird cannot lay, and the bird would have been attempting and forcing, and a lot of times you will see blood coming out, and there's sometimes even internal hemorrhaging as it tries to pass it out. Sometimes it just locks up in there and just nothing happening. So the bird cannot now even pass urates or fecal matter, and it can die. Blockages of that are quite common. They say that having a wider variety in the diet is a good thing. A lot of times the concentrate type food that we feed the animals, even with the food there, it's really very high in calcium, because they do enrich it with calcium, and it creates problems with egg binding and stuff like that there. But a lot more natural. Get the bird get it more fruits and vegetables also.
Rio does not like fruits.
I know.
All he likes is sunflower seed, as much as I've tried him on everything else.
That, you see, now you just gave me a piece of information that might have been critical. The sunflower seed is like you eating fried chicken every day.
Really?
Yes, it is that bad. Fried chicken every day. So what's going to happen? You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to look forward to it. But what's probably happening in the abdominal region of the bird, that's where the fat stores. So it was probably literally an obese little bird, even though you may not see it, and it was unable.
Very fat. He's so fat he could hardly walk.
That is bad.
So is it because they see the sunflower seed?
Yes, you need to modify that bird's diet right away, and they will not starve to death. You have to force it to eat. You put one thing, and it will nibble a bit on that, and you have to keep going at that pace. You're not totally off the sunflower seed right away, but you have to cut down and keep trying to get it onto something else. The mixed seeds that we have available for the parakeets are a whole lot better. So I know one lady, she said the bird loves red millet, white millet, millet on the whole, very fattening also. Any one is bad. Okay, it's a variety. They fly around Australia eating all sorts of stuff. So you must have a variety. And a lot of people have that problem with their parrots, because that's all they feed and that's all they will eat. So people have brought the parrots to me and said, it only eats sunflower seeds. They come back 3 days later and the parrot eating okra. How you get it up? And I said, well, I gave it okra. I didn't give it sunflower seed, and the bird will not allow itself to starve. So the bird is like, okay, I don't like it, but I have to eat. And there it picks it up and it's going at it. Then after that, I introduced pumpkin, a great food for the parrots, for all the folks out there. Chana. You get the dried chana, soak it overnight, and next day give it to your bird. After that, they'll probably never touch sunflower seed again. It is a great food, high in protein. Okay, the cockatiels are a little smaller, so they're a little trickier to feed because of the size of their beak and what they can manage. But the mixed seeds, get the local songbird mix that they sell in the supermarkets and everywhere, and give that a try. It has a variety of seeds in there, and it's designed more not to fatten the bird. And then try fruits and vegetables.
That's good. I'm just looking at this here, the Wildlife Conservation. You all have a family day and animal hospital fundraiser.
Yes.
You want to just talk a little bit about it?
Oh yes, this is a big event we have in 2 Sundays on the 25th of August from 11:30 to just about 5 o'clock. We have a family day, and Wildlife Hospital fundraiser. The aim is to raise funds for our wildlife hospital. We had a 40-foot container donated. We've been requesting for a while, so we finally got a company, Denuvo, out of Point Lisas area. They donated a 40-foot container and delivered it to our new temporary location. And we've had it so far cut for 9 windows and 4 doors, because that container is now going to serve as our admissions receiving area, our examination room, our surgical suite, and our indoor ward recovery area. So it's going to be a fully functioning wildlife hospital, and I believe, to my research thus far, it's probably going to be the first one in the Caribbean region that's going to be exclusively for wildlife. So we hope to equip it to match the very best veterinary hospital facilities you can see anywhere in the world. So that would include anesthesia machines, x-rays, you name it, we want to put that in there. It's going to take a massive amount of money just to finish the infrastructure first and then to furnish it. So we're calling on the public to support us, reach out to us, help us make this happen. We're an all-volunteer organization. No one gets paid in this organization thus far, and everything that we have done for the past 14 years has been done on the backs of volunteers and supporters who donate money, time, materials, food, their knowledge to make the center grow. And we have grown over the past 14 years, and if you see us and you're seeing us, it's because we are growing and we're reaching out more, and we have now another 1 million people to reach to make an impact in this country.
For persons who want to reach you, Ricardo,
WhatsApp is always a great way to reach out there. You can reach us on Facebook. So we're on Facebook, the Wildlife Center, the El Socorro Center for Wildlife Conservation. We're on Instagram, ECWC_TT. We're on, our website, wildliferescuett.org, email wildlife.tt@gmail.com, and WhatsApp phone number 366-4369. So you can reach out to us, WhatsApp, tell us you want to get stickers out price at only $100. Come out with the family, have a day of fun, interact with the animals, meet Oreo, meet Tyler, meet the black vultures, meet the falcon,
really
meet the barn owl. The largest snake in the world is what? Do you know? The green anaconda. We have a green anaconda. We have mackerels. Big female just had 28 babies. We're going to be releasing some soon. Where do you live?
Glencoe.
Right, so we'll release some in Glencoe. All right.
No.
And other areas around Port of Spain. You could call us, tell us where you live, and we'll release those snakes in your backyard.
Ricardo, I just have one request. I want to call one of our camera guys there, Clark, to come up and hold this. To come and hold Oreo here and set with us this morning.
Well, what you can do is actually, touch Oreo, holding the raptors.
I don't think he has ever been close enough with a hawk, so.
Holding the raptors requires special
where's
training.
Mr. Clark? Is he in studio here with us?
I see a hand waving down there. Are you coming up, Clarky?
Is Clark scared?
Clark is staying off a set this morning there, right? So
I want to ask you for your closing comment, and thank you so much for coming here on PSA.
Thanks for having us here on the program this morning. I hope that we had utilize this time well to reach out. I hope you guys learned something. Reach out for us in any reason. If you have an injured or orphaned animal, you can reach out to us. Please avoid the Facebook reach out if it's an emergency. Send us a direct message, WhatsApp, 366-4369, or even better, just give us a call. There are very few times that I'm unable to answer the phone, for example, right now, because phones have to be off. And please consider coming out to the center on Sunday, the 25th. You have to purchase your tickets before, so 366-4369. It's $100. It's barbecue or curricue, your choice. Wonderful opportunity for the family and the kids. What are you doing that Sunday? You know you have nothing to do. Come on down and support us. We're much cheaper than the other options. And I'm sure you're going to feel wonderful knowing that you've done your part to build this magnificent hospital that we have planned here for Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. Can I just give Oreo one last touch before
Just come right on in there. Give him a little touch there. There you go.
Oh, he's such a darling. Oh, what's going on with him? Ricardo, I want to thank you so much for coming here at the PSA TV, and you're always welcome.
Thank you very much.
Here with us, and probably you can bring a snake when you're coming. At that time, my fears will be all gone.
Next time, we look forward to bringing a really nice snake, and it's part of getting over your fears, building. Today is Friday.
Yes.
The next time we come, hopefully it'll be on a Friday, we'll call it Fearless Friday, and you'll get over that fear.
We will do that.
We'll build on that.
Thank you
so much. And you'll show people out there in Trinidad and Tobago that there's no reason to fear them.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. We're going to toss the news and come right back to the program.